You feel a knot in your stomach every time you think about the goals you keep avoiding and the promises you break to yourself. Your heart races when you wake up and remember another day slipped by without real progress. What if you could take control of those moments and turn them into proof that you can change? In this video, you will learn how to face your weaknesses head on, build habits that last, and push yourself past the point where you usually give up. You'll see practical steps you can use right now to track your progress honestly and create a clear plan that moves you forward. Are you ready to feel the satisfaction of real growth and leave excuses behind? Stay with me to discover simple, powerful actions that will help you conquer your fears and weaknesses one step at a time and start living the life you truly want. Let's get started. Number 1, commit daily to face your weaknesses without excuse. You know exactly what needs to change in your life. You've felt it for a long time. The late nights where your mind keeps running. The moments you look in the mirror and feel like you're capable of so much more. Those aren't just passing thought. That's your potential trying to break through the wall of excuses you've built around it. And here's the hard truth: that wall doesn't get torn down in one big moment. It crumbles slowly, painfully, and only when you make one serious decision. Commit daily to face your weaknesses without excuses. Not when you feel ready. Not when life calms down. Not when the timing is perfect. Because the truth is, those moments rarely come. Life will always throw noise your way. There will always be pressure, distractions, doubts, responsibilities. But growth doesn't wait. Progress doesn't care about your schedule and your weakness. It feeds off your delay. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," it grows stronger. Every time you say, "I'm just not that type of person," it becomes more permanent. You know your weaknesses better than anyone else. No one has to point them out. You feel them when you avoid the hard conversation. You feel them when you hit snooze even though you promised yourself last night would be different. You feel them when you break your word, especially when it's a promise you made to yourself. That sting in your gut. That's the cost of excuses, and you've been paying it for too long. You don't fix your weaknesses by hiding from them. You don't overcome laziness by hoping you'll magically get motivated. You don't build confidence by avoiding your fears. You can't lie to yourself forever. Sooner or later, you realize either you take control or your weaknesses will control you. But the good news, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to win every battle. You just need to wake up and face the fight every single day. That's what real discipline looks like. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's quiet. It's you alone. Getting up when you don't feel like it. It's choosing the salad instead of the junk. It's turning off distractions when no one's watching. It's sticking to the plan even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when your emotions scream otherwise. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's about keeping your promise, because every time you do what you said you'd do, even when it's uncomfortable, you build something deep inside. Self-respect. And that's where real confidence comes from. Not fake confidence. Not the kind that depends on compliments or attention, but the kind that says, "I trust myself. I know I can count on me." Weaknesses don't disappear because we wish them may. They fade when we stop feeding them. And you feed a weakness every time you give it permission to stay. You keep it alive with every excuse. "I'm tired. I'm too busy. I'm not good enough." No, that's not the real you talking. That's your comfort zone, begging to survive. But you weren't born to be average. You weren't made to be stuck. And you definitely weren't meant to be owned by your excuses. You were made to grow, to change, to take full responsibility for your future. There's power in ownership. It means no more blaming, no more waiting, no more someday. You either run your day, or the day runs you. You either master your weakness, or it masters you. And you don't do that once. You do it daily, over and over. On the days you're fired up and the days you're dragging, you show up, you face it, you get stronger. Every day you avoid your weakness. You reinforce the idea that it's bigger than you. But every day you face it, you take back power, even if you stumble, even if you fail. The act of facing it matters, because courage grows through repetition. Discipline strengthens through repetition. You don't need more motivation. You need more action. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. And here's what's really incredible. Once you start showing up for yourself, something shifts. You begin to see yourself differently. Not as the person who never finishes things. Not as the person who can't change, but as the one who's building a new story. Not overnight, but brick by brick. Effort by effort, step by step. Some people will tell you to love yourself as you are. That's fine. But real love says, "I want better for you." Real love is honest. And honesty says, "This version of you isn't the best you can be." That doesn't mean shame. That doesn't mean guilt. It means growth. And growth doesn't come without discomfort. There's a cost to change, but you're already paying a cost by staying the same. Missed opportunities, wasted time, the regret that sneaks in late at night. So if you're going to suffer anyway, suffer for something that builds you. Suffer for something that frees you, that makes you proud. Every morning, You get a choice. Face your weakness or feed it. That's it. And every night, you get either the quiet pride of progress or the quiet pain of another day wasted. You don't need a big breakthrough. You need one small victory, then another, then another. Start with one weakness, just one. Write it down, make it real, look it in the face. Ask yourself, what action can I take today to fight this? Not tomorrow, today, because nothing changes until you do. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need permission. You just need a decision. And the most powerful decision you can make is this: no more excuses. Excuses rob you of progress. They lie to you. They keep you small. They make you comfortable with staying stuck. Don't give them another day of your life. Face your weaknesses. Own them. Challenge them. And watch yourself grow into the person you were always meant to become. Not by chance, but by choice. Every single day. So the next time that voice creeps in, the one that says just skip today or you'll never change, shut it down. Not with a speech, with action. Get up, do the thing, prove that voice wrong. You have more in you, you know it, and it's time to show it. Not someday, but now. Because your future doesn't need excuses. It needs you disciplined, determined, and done with playing small. Number 2, build strong habits that replace your negative behaviors. You've been stuck in the same cycle for too long. And deep down, you know it's not because you're incapable. It's because you keep choosing comfort over change. Every time you repeat the same negative behavior, a part of you gets more used to being stuck. More used to giving in. More used to the version of yourself you don't want to be. But here's the truth you can't ignore anymore. The only way to break that cycle is to build stronger habits that leave no space for your old ones to survive. It's not about fighting your negative behaviors with willpower forever. That's exhausting. It's about replacing them. You don't just remove a bad habit. You build a better one that takes its place. One that's so strong, so automatic, so real. It doesn't leave room for the old one to return. You already know the habits that are hurting your progress. Staying up too late, scrolling endlessly, skipping workouts, snapping at people, procrastinating again and again. These aren't just bad moments, they're patterns, and patterns become personality. That's why change isn't about doing one big thing one time. It's about doing the small right things over and over, until they become who you are. Let's get real. You won't change by reading more quotes or watching more videos, hoping they'll magically shift you. They might inspire you, yes, but what you need is structure. You need a system, a set of choices that are simple, strong, and repeatable. You need habits so clear that they pull you toward your best self, without a daily battle. Think about this. Every habit you repeat is a vote for the type of person you become. So ask yourself honestly, who are you voting for? Are you voting for the person who avoids responsibility? Or the one who shows up, even when it's inconvenient? Are you voting for the version of you who wastes time? Or the one who values every hour and makes it count? Building strong habits isn't about adding pressure. It's about giving yourself clarity. When you know exactly what to do and when to do it, there's less room for emotional decisions. You don't ask, should I work out today? You already have the habit in place. You don't question, should I start working on my goals? It's already in your schedule. It's not about being rigid. It's about being committed. Negative behaviors feel easy. They feel automatic. That's what makes them dangerous. But that ease, you can build it in the other direction too. You can train your brain to crave the right things. You can make discipline feel familiar. You can make productivity feel natural. But you have to build that system, piece by piece. Start small, but start strong. One change, one shift. Don't try to rebuild your whole life in one day. That's where most people fail. They overwhelm themselves and fall right back. Instead, pick one habit that aligns with who you want to become and lock it in. Do it every day. Don't negotiate with yourself. Don't wait for motivation. Build repetition. Build rhythm. Let that habit anchor you. Once that first habit becomes a part of your life, build another. Stack them. Reinforce them. Link them to each other. Wake up. Drink a glass of water. Leave your body for 10 minutes. Read something that sharpens your thinking. Set your intentions for the day. These are simple actions, but they carry power when done consistently. The goal isn't to just stop the bad. It's to make the good so automatic that you don't even have to think about it. If you're used to reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, replace it with something better. Keep your phone in another room and reach for your journal. If you always crash on the couch after work, change the pattern. Go for a walk first. even just 5 minutes. These little tweaks matter more than you think. And yes, it'll be uncomfortable at first. Your brain loves the familiar. It will fight you. It will whisper excuses like, just this once, or you've had a long day. That's where you stand firm. Because every time you win that little battle, you train your mind to follow you, not fight you. You'll fall sometimes. That's okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is dominance. To let your strong habits dominate your days. So fully that even when you slip, you don't stay down. You bounce back fast. You get back on track without losing momentum. You don't need to fix everything at once, but you do need to make a decision. Are you going to let your bad habits keep running your life? Or are you going to build new ones that pull you toward who you're meant to be? Your future isn't built on luck. It's built on your pattern. And if you don't take control of your patterns, they will control you. Think of every strong person you admire. Every person who seems to have it together. Who gets things done, who stays focused. They aren't superhuman. They've just mastered their system. They've built habits that work for them, even on the days they don't feel like showing up. And you can do the same. You don't need more talent. You need better systems. You don't need more time. You need better use of the time you already have. You don't need someone to come and fix your life. You need to fix your patterns. The small, repeated decisions that decide everything. If your days are built on procrastination, comfort, and distraction, your life will reflect that. But if your days are built on clarity, intention, and strong habits, then your life becomes a reflection of that instead. This is about taking full responsibility. It's about refusing to keep living in cycles that drain you. It's about building new patterns that lift you. And that starts with a clear decision to stop tolerating your negative behaviors and start replacing them with habits that move you forward. So decide right now, what is one habit you can build this week? One that would push your life in the direction you want to go. Choose it. Set it up. Attach it to something you already do. Repeat it every single day. No excuses, no negotiation, and watch what happens. It won't be instant. It won't be effortless, but it will be worth it. Because the more you build, the more you become. And one day you'll wake up and realize you're not fighting your old self anymore. You've outgrown them. Your habits did that. Your effort did that. And it all started with one powerful decision: to build strong habits that replace your negative behaviors. So start now. The version of you that's tired of starting over deserves a chance to finally finish. Build it, own it, live it. Number 3, focus fully on one weakness and take immediate action. There comes a moment in your life where you realize you're not stuck because you're weak. You're stuck because you keep trying to fix everything at once and end up fixing nothing at all. If you want change that actually lasts, then you need to narrow your focus and aim it at one weakness, not someday, but right now. Most people never change because they keep running from the truth. They say things like, I need to work on everything, or I'll start when I'm more ready. That's how you stay trapped. That's how years go by, and nothing gets better. You don't need another plan. You don't need another excuse. You need to look straight at the one weakness that's costing you the most and take action today. You already know what it is. You feel it every day. It's that one thing that always drags you down. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's lack of follow-through. Whatever it is, it's not hidden. It's just been ignored. But ignoring it hasn't worked. Trying to work around it hasn't fixed it. The only way out is through direct, focused, intentional action. You can't fight 5 battles at the same time. That's not strategy. That's scattered effort. And scattered effort gets you nowhere. Real transformation happens when you give full attention to one weakness and commit to crushing it with everything you've got. Think about what your life would look like if just that one thing didn't control you anymore. Think about the freedom, the confidence, the clarity. You don't need to climb 10 mountains right now. You just need to conquer one. And the sooner you face it, the faster everything else in your life starts improving too. Because here's what most people don't realize. Your weaknesses are connected. You're not just undisciplined in one area. That one bad habit, that one excuse, that one fear, it's affecting everything. It's draining your energy. It's stealing your confidence. It's limiting what you believe you can do. So stop waiting. Choose one. Choose the one that keeps showing up in your life like a weight on your back. Don't try to solve it in theory. Act. Action is how you break the pattern. Action is how you kill the power it has over you. You're not going to feel ready. That's normal. You're not going to feel confident. That's expected. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. Once you face what you've been avoiding and make one move, one decision, One step, everything starts shifting. Don't overthink it. Don't complicate it. Don't make it more dramatic than it is. Just do something. Send the message. Cancel the distraction. Schedule the task. Start the habit. Fix the relationship. Whatever it is, start it today. Not later. Not when you're in the mood. Now. There's power in now. Waiting weakens you. Waiting makes the weakness stronger. The longer you delay, the more it grows. But the moment you move, the second you say no more, the second you take back control, that's the moment you start changing your life for real. Don't underestimate what a small shift in focus can do. One change can shake everything loose. One win can spark a whole new mindset. That's what happens when you commit to one weakness and attack it with your full energy. This isn't about perfection. You'll mess up. You'll have setbacks. But the difference is this time you're not trying to juggle everything. You're giving yourself permission to go deep instead of wide. That's how progress happens. Not by trying to fix everything, but by fixing one thing that matters. You've been distracted for too long, pulled in 100 directions, always starting, never finishing, always planning, never executing. That ends today. You take back your life by taking back your focus, by locking in on one target, by refusing to let this weakness own another day of your life. When you do this, when you zoom in and take real action, something happens inside you. You start trusting yourself again. You start believing maybe I really can change. Not because you said it, but because you proved it. That proof is what builds momentum, and momentum is what changes your life. Don't get caught up in how far you still have to go. Don't let the size of the journey scare you. Just focus on the next step, and take it now, not tomorrow, not after you feel better. Now, this is where the change begins. That weakness that's been holding you back, it's not unbeatable. You've just been giving it more power than it deserves. But the moment you stand up and move, it starts to shrink. The fear starts to fade, and you start to rise. You don't need motivation. You need movement. You don't need more ideas. You need action. And you already know what needs to be done. So stop stalling. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Make the moment perfect by acting on it. One weakness, one decision, one move, and everything can start to change. The pain you're feeling, it's not from failure. It's from not trying hard enough to fix what's broken. That inner frustration, that restlessness, that low energy, it's your potential suffocating, and it's time to let it breathe again. People talk about being overwhelmed, but it's not because they're doing too much. It's because they're doing too many things that don't matter. You simplify your life by focusing on what does. You simplify by eliminating distractions and zeroing in on one fight you're going to win, no matter what. That kind of clarity creates power. That kind of power creates results. That kind of result creates momentum. And momentum is what builds confidence that doesn't depend on how you feel. So take a hard look at yourself. Identify the one weakness that's been driving your excuses, stealing your time, and holding your life hostage, and go after it. Not with fear, but with decision. Burn the backup plan, cut the lifelines, stop looking for ways around it, and go straight through it. It's not going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it, because nothing will ever replace the feeling of knowing you took full ownership of your life and did what had to be done, even when it was hard, even when no one noticed, even when you were tired. The world doesn't need another person with potential. It needs someone who makes the decision to finally step up and follow through. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let that one weakness keep robbing you, or are you going to put your full focus on it? Take massive action and start building the version of yourself you were meant to be. You know the answer. Now prove it. Number 4. Accept responsibility for your failures and learn fast. You don't start winning in life when everything goes right. You start winning when you finally take full responsibility for everything that went wrong. You've made mistakes. You've messed things up. You've missed chances, hurt people, failed goals, and said things you wish you could take back. But listen closely. You are not your failures unless you refuse to own them. That's the moment your life starts to change. When you stop pointing fingers and start pointing at the mirror. Not to blame, but to claim. To claim your life, your choices, your outcomes. Because until you take responsibility, nothing gets better. You stay stuck. You keep replaying the same cycles, feeling powerless, waiting for something or someone to save you. But no one is coming. And that's not a reason to panic. That's a reason to rise. You can't fix what you keep denying. You can't grow from what you won't own. And you sure as hell can't learn from what you keep blaming on others. Every time you say, "It wasn't my fault," You give your power away. You hand over your ability to change. But the moment you say, that was on me, even if it hurts, you take the power back. Owning your failures isn't about guilt or shame. It's about progress. It's about grabbing the lessons and moving forward. Because the people who rise the fastest in life aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn fast when they fall. Think about the last time something went wrong. Maybe you missed a deadline, lost an opportunity, or said something that damaged trust. Be honest. Did you look for a way to blame someone else? Did you say, they didn't support me, or life got in the way, or I just wasn't ready? That reaction is natural, but staying there is dangerous. Because while you're busy explaining why it's not your fault, someone else out there is saying, that was my mistake, I'll do better next time. And that person, that's who becomes unstoppable. Not because they're perfect, not because they never fail, but because they refuse to waste time defending their failure instead of learning from it. Every failure carries a lesson. Every mistake reveals a blind spot. But only if you're honest enough to look it in the eye and say, all right, what can I do better? Most people never level up in life because their ego is louder than their hunger to grow. They'd rather protect their image than fix their problems. They'd rather act like a victim than take control. But let me tell you something. Every day you refuse to take responsibility. You choose to stay small. You choose comfort over growth. And you choose your excuses over your potential. Real growth starts with hard questions. What did I ignore? Where did I fall short? What can I change today to make sure this doesn't happen again? That's not weakness. That's power. That's discipline. That's how leaders are built. Not by being flawless, but by being fearless in the face of failure. You want to grow? Then stop sugarcoating your story. Stop pretending the world is out to get you. Start writing a new chapter. One where you take ownership of every decision, every action, every outcome. Because that's where progress lives. In the middle of your mistakes. You've been carrying the pain of failure for too long. But pain is not the enemy. Denial is. Pain teaches. Pain warns. Pain corrects. But only if you're willing to listen to it, not run from it. Stop being embarrassed about falling short. Stop hiding your past like it's something to be ashamed of. Those failures, that's your education. That's your training. That's your fuel. What separates winners from losers isn't that didn't fail. It's that they learned faster, adjusted quicker, and kept moving. You don't need more time. You don't need more chances. You need more honesty. You need to look at your results and say, this is what I created. Now I'm going to fix it. That's responsibility. That's the shift. That's the new foundation. The world will always give you a list of things to blame. Your parents, your past, your boss, the economy, your upbringing. But all of that fades when you realize your life is your choice. You get to decide how you respond. You get to decide how you rise. And you get to decide how fast you learn when you fall. If you keep seeing the same problems repeat, that's a signal. Life is trying to teach you something, but it can't teach you anything if you keep pretending you're the top. Growth doesn't come to those who hide from the truth. It comes to those who face it. You'll never build a stronger future by lying to yourself about the past. Stop covering up your weaknesses. Start working on them. Stop blaming others for what you didn't do. Start fixing it. Stop talking about what happened. Start learning from it. No more self-pity. No more waiting. No more hoping life gets easier. Make yourself stronger. Instead, own your story. Own your flaws. Own your next move. Responsibility isn't a burden. It's a breakthrough. It's what separates the average from the excellent. The excuse makers from the action takers. The people who wish for a better life. And the people who build one. And you're not here to stay stuck. You're not here to play small. You're not here to be a victim of your past. You're here to rise, to lead, to grow. But that starts with truth. That starts with taking full control of everything that's happened and asking one powerful question. What am I going to do about it now? That's the moment your life changes. When you stop hiding behind the story of why it didn't work and start building a new one, the one where you do the work. Take the lessons and never let the same mistake steal from you twice. You have what it takes. You've always had it, but you have to be bold enough to accept your failures and wise enough to learn fast. Your next level is waiting, but only if you're ready to stop running from your mistakes and start learning from them, like your future depends on it. Because it does. Number 5, create a clear plan to improve one area today. You've waited long enough, and you know it. There's a part of you that's been screaming to change something, to fix what's been dragging you down, to finally take control of your life. Not someday, but today. That starts with one simple, powerful move. Create a clear plan to improve one area right now. You don't need to figure out your whole life today. You don't need a 5-year vision board or some perfect routine that looks good on paper. What you need is clarity. Not someday, but today. One area. One plan. One step forward that actually moves the needle. Because here's what most people miss. Change doesn't happen by chance. Change happens by design. And a plan is that design. It's the blueprint. It's how you stop guessing. It's how you stop drifting. You wake up knowing exactly what you need to do, not hoping the day magically feels right. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Don't wait for the perfect strategy. Don't sit around trying to map out every detail before you move. That's another form of procrastination, dressed up like productivity. You're not stuck because you lack information. You're stuck because you haven't made a decision to focus on one thing and build a plan that makes action impossible to ignore. Start with this question. What's one area of your life you know you're neglecting? Not something vague like I want to be better. No. Be honest. Is it your health? Is it your finances? Is it your attitude, your time, your relationships, your self-respect? Pick the one that hits the heart, the one that keeps showing up in your regrets, the one you keep putting off because it feels uncomfortable to face. That's your signal. That's your target. And that's exactly where you begin. Now get real about it. Don't just wish it gets better. Ask yourself, what specific action can I take today that moves this forward? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If it's your health, maybe it's planning your meals for the next 24 hours and getting outside for 20. If it's your money, maybe it's writing down everything you spent this week and facing your numbers honestly. If it's your self-discipline, maybe it's deleting the distractions from your phone, cleaning your space and setting a new sleep time. Tonight. You don't need to solve it all today, but you do need to start solving it. No more thinking, no more wishing, no more researching without action. You already know enough to take a step, so take it. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they don't plan. When you don't have a plan, life pulls you in every direction. You become reactive. You respond to the day instead of owning it. But a plan gives you purpose. A plan gives you control. A plan says, here's what I'm doing. Here's when I'm doing it. And here's what success looks like. That kind of clarity builds momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. Because motivation is a feeling. It fades. But momentum, that grows with every step you take. And the more you move, the less you doubt. Don't confuse being busy with being effective. You can be busy all day and get nowhere. But when you have a clear plan, even if it's just one goal, one task, one small win, you build forward motion. You create real change. So stop overcomplicating it. Stop making it emotional. Make it strategic. You want results? Then write it down. Right now, grab a piece of paper, open your notes app, whatever it takes, one area of your life, one objective, one plan, and then follow through. But here's the key. Your plan needs to be clear. No more vague goals like I want to be more disciplined. Turn that into something specific. I will wake up at 6:30 a.m. and go for a 15-minute walk before I check my phone. Clarity breeds action. Vague plans kill progress. Don't set goals you can't measure. Don't write dreams you can't track. Keep it clear. Keep it real. Keep it now. And don't wait until you feel confident. Confidence comes from execution. When you follow through on your plan, even just once, your brain registers that as a win. And that win becomes proof. And that proof becomes belief. And that belief becomes your new standard. You're not as far behind as you think. You're just unfocused. That's fixable. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be precise. Pick your area. Build your plan. Stick to it. You will mess up. That's part of the process. But the plan helps you get back on track. Without it, you'll drift. You'll spiral. You'll wake up in a few months wondering why nothing changed. With it, you have direction. You have structure. You have purpose. And the best part, when you improve one area, everything else starts to rise. That one step forward creates ripple effect. You eat better. You think clearly. You manage time better. You feel more confident. You speak better. Your relationships grow. Progress in one part of your life spills into the rest. But you've got to start. You've got to build the plan. Not wait for the plan. You've got to be the architect of your future, not the bystander of your circumstances. So here's the challenge. Before the day ends, take 10 minutes. Just 10. No distractions. No scrolling. Sit down. Get honest. Pick the area. Build the plan. Write it down. And follow it with relentless consistency. Even if it's small, that's how success is built. Not in big leaps, not in overnight breakthroughs, but in small, deliberate daily execution. You've spent enough time thinking about the life you want. It's time to plan it. Today, no more you. I'll start when I feel ready. No more hoping for clarity to find you. Go get it. Build it. Own it. Because the person you're trying to become isn't found in your imagination. It's built in your calendar. So what are you waiting for? Plan it. Do it. Become it. Starting today. Number 6, use small, consistent steps to develop lasting self-control. You will never build the life you want if you keep giving in every time things get hard. And that's why self-control isn't optional. It's essential. The good news is, you don't need superhuman willpower to get it. You just need small, consistent steps repeated every single day until discipline becomes your default. Most people think self-control is about restriction, about saying no over and over until you finally snap. But real self-control isn't about forcing yourself. It's about training yourself, and training happens through repetition. Not grand efforts once in a while, but small daily decisions that build up your mental strength like a muscle. You don't wake up one day and suddenly stop giving in to your cravings, your distractions, or your excuses. You beat those by setting up a system that rewires the way you respond. The old way, you react to emotions. You act out of impulse. You let feelings run the show. But the new way, you act on what you decided before the feeling came. You build such clear standards and systems that you don't wait until you're in the moment to decide. That's where small steps come in. You build self-control by making one strong decision in the morning and keeping it. You decide you won't check your phone for the first hour, and you stick to it. You say you'll drink only water today, and you follow through. You plan to read 5 pages, and you finish it. It's not about how big the action is. It's about keeping your word to yourself. Every time you follow through, even on something tiny, you send a message to your brain. I'm in charge now. That's how trust is rebuilt. That's how inner strength is created. Not by motivation, but by mastery of the small. And yes, it's slow, but that's the point. Fast fixes fade. Temporary motivation wears off. But habits that are built slowly, they stick. Because your brain doesn't feel threatened. It doesn't go into defense mode. It adapts gradually. And once it adapts, it starts craving the new pattern. Here's the truth. If you can't control the small, you'll never control the big. You say you want to build a business, run a marathon, transform your mindset, but you keep giving in to late night scrolling, skipping the basics, and letting emotions decide how you act. That's not a big problem. It's a basic one. And basic problems need basic solutions. Not more hype, not another excuse. Just consistent action, repeated daily without drama. Start where you are. Pick one behavior that weakens you, just one. Maybe it's checking your phone every 5 minutes. Maybe it's reaching for sugar when you're stressed. Maybe it's staying in bed after the alarm goes off. Whatever it is, isolate it. Then decide how you're going to interrupt it. Make it small, make it doable, and make it daily. That's the difference between wishful thinking and real progress. People who wish for self-control try to change everything overnight. They burn out, they crash, then they start over again. But people who build self-control treat it like construction. Slow, steady, intentional. They lay bricks one at a time. They don't rush. They respect the process. And over time, those bricks form a foundation you can build your life on. You stop reacting to every urge. You stop negotiating with your goals. You stop being a slave to your emotions. Think about how much time you've already lost giving in to the same habits over and over again. How many moments you could have claimed. How much growth you could have made. If you just had a little more self-control. This is your chance to take it back. But not by waiting until next Monday or next year. Today, this moment, this one small decision you're going to follow through on, even if it's tiny, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable. Because discomfort is the doorway to strength. Every time you sit with it instead of running from it, you become pronged. You prove to yourself that your future matters more than your feelings. That's not easy, but it is powerful. And you don't need anyone else to give it to you. No mentor, no environment, no circumstances. Self-control is built in private, when no one's watching, when there's no applause. Just you, your decision, and the quiet battle between who you are and who you want to become. And the more you win those small battles, the easier they get. You don't have to say no to everything forever. You just have to say no long enough to create a new pattern. Then that new pattern starts working for you. People will look at your life and call you disciplined. They'll think you have some gift, but it's not a gift. It's a choice, 100 choices, 1,000 repetitions. That's how you change who you are. Not by wishing, but by proving it. So take inventory right now. What is one behavior that's holding you back? Something that feels small, but you know it's stealing your time, your focus, your energy. Now flip it. What is one simple action you can take every day to reverse it? Set the rule. Make it specific. No vague promises, clear steps. Then commit to doing it for the next 7 days. No exceptions, no excuses. Just show up. Just do the thing. That's the seed. Water it, repeat it, and let it grow. Self-control isn't about punishment. It's about power. It's about not being pushed around by your urges anymore. It's about standing tall and saying, I decide how this goes. I control my actions. I own my outcomes. And when you get to that point, even just a little, everything starts to change. You get more time. You get more confidence. You get more peace. Because you're not being pulled in 10 directions anymore. You're leading yourself. That's real freedom. And it's not found in some big dramatic breakthrough. It's found in the small steps you take consistently when no one else is watching. So don't wait. Don't hope. Don't talk about it. Start right now. Choose one habit, one step, one action. Repeat it until it becomes who you are. This is how lasting self-control is built. Not in a rush, but in rhythm. Not with pressure, but with practice. Not by trying harder, but by training smarter. Now it's your turn. Decide what you're going to do. Do it daily. And let those small wins build the strong version of you that's been buried underneath the noise for far too long. Start now. Start small. Stay consistent. And take your power back. Number 7, challenge yourself every day to do what feels hard. If you only do what feels easy, your life will always feel hard. But if you challenge yourself every day to do what feels hard, your life starts to get easier in ways you never imagined. Most people wait for the right moment to step up. They wait until they feel ready, until they're confident, until the fear goes away. That's the lie. The fear never leaves on its own. Confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes because of the action. And the action you avoid the most, that's the one holding your future hostage. If you want to grow, if you want to become someone you're proud of, there's no shortcut. You have to face what you usually run from. That means waking up and choosing the hard thing. Every single day. Not once in a while. Not when it's convenient. But daily, intentionally, deliberately, and without negotiation. Because the hard thing isn't there to break you. It's there to build you. And you already know what your hard thing is. Maybe it's starting that workout when every part of you wants to quit. Maybe it's sitting down to do focused work when your mind craves distraction. Maybe it's making the phone call you keep avoiding. The apology, the commitment, the routine you promised yourself you'd follow. Whatever it is, it's not about the size of the challenge. It's about the message you send to yourself when you take it on. The message that says, I can do hard things. I don't quit. I don't avoid. I choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable. That decision, repeated daily, changes who you are. It strengthens your identity. It builds real, unshakable belief. Not because you're perfect, not because it was easy, but because you showed up and pushed through when most people would have backed down. You don't grow when things go your way. You grow when they don't, and you keep going anyway. That's how toughness is built. That's how you earn self-respect. That's how you stop being a prisoner to your emotions and become the kind of person who can handle anything life throws at them. When you avoid hard things, you think you're saving energy. You're not. You're draining. You're teaching your brain that the moment things get hard, you back off. You're programming weakness into your identity. But when you do the opposite, when you choose what's difficult, you train your brain to see struggle, not as a threat, but as a trigger for growth. And that's how you start to change your entire life. Not through massive overhauls, but through daily discomfort, daily challenge, daily self-discipline. It's not about pushing yourself to the edge every time. It's about saying, I will do something today that challenges me, something that sharpens me, something that strengthens me. Not because I want to suffer, but because I want to become someone who can endure, adapt, and overcome, no matter what. Look around you. The people you admire most didn't get there by taking the easy route. They earned it in silence and struggle, in early mornings, in lonely hours, in moments where giving up felt easier. But they didn't. They showed up anyway. And that discipline became their advantage. You have that same power inside you, but it doesn't activate on its own. It needs a challenge. It needs pressure. And it needs you to stop waiting for life to force you into discomfort and start stepping into it on your own. The difference between who you are now and who you could become is found in those uncomfortable choices. When you want to hit snooze but get up anyway. When you want to scroll but focus instead. When you want to hide but speak up anyway. When you want to quit but take one more step. And it's not about perfection. You will fail. You will fall short. But that's part of the challenge. What matters is what you do next. Will you use it as proof that you're not good enough? Or will you use it as fuel to go again? Stronger, sharper, more focused. The real pain isn't doing hard things. It's looking back 6 months from now and realizing nothing's changed. Still stuck. Still making excuses. Still avoiding the very challenges that were meant to unlock your next level. You don't need more time. You don't need to feel ready. You need courage. And a decision. A decision to stop coasting. A decision to stop living on autopilot. A decision to wake up. Face the hard thing. And do it anyway. Because the hard things teach you what easy things never could. They teach you focus. They teach you patience. They teach you control. They teach you how to act with purpose instead of reacting out of emotion. And that's what the few who build greatness from the many who stay stuck in average. So what's your challenge today? What have you been avoiding? What's one thing you can do right now that pushes your limits just a little further? Don't wait for motivation that comes after the challenge. Not before. Take the step. Make the move. Build the proof. Prove to yourself that you're not going to keep settling. You're not fragile. You're not broken. You're not stuck. You're just underused. You've got strength you haven't tapped into yet. Potential that's been asleep. Discipline that's been buried under comfort. And the way to wake it up is by doing the hard thing. Today, tomorrow, every single day that follows. Start with one decision, one action, one step into discomfort, and then do it again. Stack the day, stack the proof, stack the discipline, until self-respect becomes your new normal. Challenge doesn't break you, it reveals you. It shows you who you really are, and more importantly, it shows you who you can become. So stop running from what's hard. Run toward it, lean into it, own it. Because every time you do what feels hard, not once, but daily, you take one step closer to the life you're meant to live. And that life, it's not found in comfort, it's found in the challenge. So go get it. Number 8, track your progress honestly and adjust your efforts. If you don't track your progress honestly, you'll lie to yourself beautifully, while your life stays the same. And if you don't adjust your efforts, you'll keep pouring energy into a strategy that isn't working and wonder why you still feel stuck. Let's face it, improvement without self-awareness is just motion without direction. Most people don't actually lack effort. They're working hard, they're trying, but they're not paying attention to what's actually working and what's just making them feel busy. They're not tracking, they're not checking in, and they're not adjusting. So they stay trapped in cycles. Working hard, seeing little, blaming themselves, losing motivation. That's not discipline. That's self-sabotage, disguised as effort. If you want real growth, you have to know exactly where you're starting, where you're going, and how far you've come. And you can't guess. You can't go off feelings. You need cold, clear, honest tracking. No sugarcoating. No justifying. No hype. Because the truth is, people don't avoid tracking because they don't care. They avoid it because they're afraid of what they'll see. They're afraid to look at the scale, afraid to open the bank account, afraid to admit that they're not sticking to their plan. But the only thing worse than seeing the truth is ignoring it. When you avoid reality, you rob yourself of growth. When you face it, you give yourself power, because now you can change. Now you can tweak the system. Now you can adjust what's not working. But first, you have to be real. Be honest with yourself, even if it stings, especially if it stings. It's not about judgment. It's about data. You are not your results. You are your choices. And when you track those choices, without excuses, you get control back. That's what changes the game. Not more pressure, just more clarity. Tracking isn't about being obsessed. It's about being intentional. It's saying, I care enough about my growth to pay attention to what I'm doing and what it's producing. That's what separates serious people from those who just talk about it. You don't need a fancy app. You don't need a perfect system. You need a notebook, a calendar, a habit tracker, something that shows you the truth in real time, so you can stop guessing and start improving. But tracking alone isn't enough. It gives you the information, but you still have to respond to it. You have to adjust. You have to change the plan. If the plan isn't working, that's not failure, that's wisdom. People who succeed long-term don't just set goals. They evolve their methods. They stay flexible with how they get there. They're not married to a strategy. They're married to the outcome. And if something's not working, they fix it. They refine. They optimize. That's how they keep momentum. Not by repeating what's comfortable, but by adapting to what's real. Let's say you set a goal to wake up early. You try 5 a.m. You fail. You try again. You fail again. Now, most people say, I'm not disciplined, but a better response is, maybe 5 a.m. isn't sustainable with my current schedule. Let me try 6. Let me adjust. That's not weakness. That's smart. That's sustainable progress. Or maybe you're tracking your workouts and you're not seeing results. Instead of quitting, you dig in. You ask, am I training with enough intensity? Am I recovering enough? Am I eating the right foods? You adjust. You refine. That's how you win. The same applies to your mindset. If you're journaling daily, but still feel scattered, change the questions. Change the approach. Don't abandon the process. Upgrade it. That's what growth looks like in real time. The problem is, most people don't want to change their approach. They want their plan to work without change. They fall in love with a method instead of falling in love with results. But life doesn't reward stubbornness. It rewards awareness. It rewards those who are humble enough to admit something isn't working and bold enough to do something about it. So how do you apply this? First, pick one area of your life to track. Not all of them. Start with the one that matters most right now. Maybe it's your habits, your mood, your workouts, your time, your spending, your sleep. Just choose one. Second, define success clearly. What does progress look like in that area? Be specific. Be measurable. Don't say get better. Say meditate for 10 minutes daily. Or read 10 pages. Or limit social media to 30 minutes. Clear goals produce clear data. Third, track daily, not weekly, not when you feel like it, every day. That's how you create patterns. That's how you catch yourself when you're slipping. That's how you stop lying to yourself with stories like I've been doing pretty good, when the truth is, you've been slipping and just didn't notice. Fourth, review and adjust. Once a week, look back. Ask yourself what's working, what's not, what needs to change. Make the change immediately. Don't wait until it's perfect. Just make a better move and keep going. This is how you escape the trap of repeating the same cycle and expecting different results. This is how you go from being someone who tries to someone who improves. It's not about being extreme. It's about being honest, and it's about being consistent. Because when you start tracking and adjusting, something powerful happens. You start building trust with yourself. You stop relying on emotion. You start relying on evidence, and that creates momentum. Momentum roots belief. Belief creates identity. Identity shapes your actions, and actions shape your destiny. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to pay attention. You just need to stop lying to yourself and start learning from yourself. So right now, make the decision. Pick the one area. Decide how you'll track it. Decide when you'll review it, and commit to making one adjustment each week based on what you see. That's how you get better. That's how you get ahead. That's how you turn your discipline into real, measurable progress. You're not stuck because you can't move forward. You're stuck because you're not measuring where you're at. Fix that, and everything starts changing. So start tracking, start adjusting, start rising, and don't stop. Number 9, surround yourself with people who hold you accountable. No one reaches their full potential alone. If you want to eliminate your weaknesses and rise higher, you must surround yourself with people who hold you accountable, who challenge you to do better, and who refuse to let you settle for less. Accountability is not about punishment or judgment. It's about commitment, clarity, and connection. When you share your goals with the right people, you create a powerful force that keeps you honest, motivated, and moving forward even when your own will starts to waver. Because here's the truth. Your self-discipline can only carry you so far, but the influence of others can push you beyond what you thought possible. Think about it. When you've tried to change something on your own, how often did you fall back into old habits? How many times did you promise yourself you'd follow through but then lost steam? That's natural because the mind loves comfort, and resistance is built into every new habit. But when you know someone is watching, waiting, and expecting you to deliver, your mind has no choice but to step up. That's why you must be intentional about who you let into your circle. It's not about just anyone. It's about people who genuinely care about your growth and won't let you hide behind excuses. These are the friends, mentors, or colleagues who ask the tough questions, check in regularly, and push you when you want to give up. They celebrate your wins and call you out on your slips because they believe in your potential more than you do on your bad day. Sometimes, accountability means having someone who is brutally honest. It means hearing feedback that stings but sets you free. It means having someone who doesn't accept your excuses because they know you're capable of more. That kind of relationship isn't comfortable all the time, but it's necessary for real growth. The people who hold you accountable also serve as your mirror. They reflect back the truth you might be too afraid or too proud to see on your own. If you're surrounded by yes people, your growth will stall. But when you have those who challenge your complacency and hold you to higher standards, you're forced to show up as your best self or risk losing their respect and trust. Imagine what it would be like to have a team of people who check in on your progress, who remind you of your goals when you're distracted, and who inspire you by living their own lives with discipline and purpose. This kind of environment is fuel for your transformation. It makes discipline contagious. Accountability also creates a sense of responsibility that goes beyond yourself. When you know others are counting on you, you can't afford to quit. You don't want to let them down. This external pressure helps you push past the resistance that often comes with trying to change. It builds resilience. But accountability is a two-way street. You can't just expect others to hold you up without holding yourself accountable to them. That means showing up consistently, sharing your progress honestly, and being open to feedback without defensiveness. The more transparent and vulnerable you are, the stronger the bond becomes, and the more powerful the growth. Sometimes accountability comes in unexpected form. It could be a journal where you write your daily commitments and review them. It could be an app that tracks your habits and shares results with friends. It could be a coach who checks in weekly, or it could be a trusted friend who calls you out when you skip your goal. Find the method that works for you, but don't try to go it alone. There's also psychological power in verbalizing your goals and commitments. When you say them out loud to someone else, you activate a deeper part of your brain that makes those goals feel real. It's no longer just a wish inside your head. It becomes a promise you made to another human being. Breaking that promise triggers guilt, but it also triggers motivation to make things right. Remember, you don't need a large group. Even one person who genuinely cares and holds you to your word can transform your habits and mindset. The key is that this person demands your best and won't let you slide. Accountability partners don't make the journey easy. They make it possible. Because change is hard, but it's impossible when you're isolated. You will stumble, you will doubt, you will want to quit. But having someone there to remind you why you started, to cheer your progress, and to hold you accountable will keep you in the game. If you want to eliminate your weaknesses, it's time to examine who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are they encouraging your growth or enabling your excuses? Are they honest and consistent, or do they avoid tough conversation? This is a critical question because your environment shapes your actions more than you realize. If your closest people don't believe in your goals, they will unconsciously sabotage you. If they tolerate your excuses, they reinforce your weakness. But when you choose to surround yourself with accountability, you create a safe yet challenging space where transformation happens, where you can be vulnerable, but also driven, where you can be honest about your failures, but motivated to keep improving. The people who hold you accountable will celebrate every small victory and push you to keep going. After every setback, they won't let you hide behind "I tried," because they know you're capable of more. They will remind you that discipline is not about perfection, but persistence. No one becomes great in isolation. Every success story you admire involves people who demanded accountability and elevated standards. That's why you must be intentional. Seek out those who will hold your feet to the ale and refuse to let you settle for mediocrity. And here's the deal. If you don't have those people now, it's your responsibility to find them. Join a group, hire a coach, reach out to a mentor, ask a friend. Don't wait for accountability to come to you. Go get it. When you do, you tap into a powerful dynamic that transforms weakness into strength, hesitation into action, and dreams into reality. The path won't be easy, but it will be clear. You'll have a crew behind you, pushing you forward when your own motivation fades. So don't go through this journey alone. Build your team of accountability. Let their challenge become your fuel. Let their belief become your foundation. And watch how your weaknesses begin to fade as your strength rises. Your future is too important to drift through it without accountability. Make this choice today. Surround yourself with those who demand your best and never let you settle. That's how you win. Number 10, reward yourself only after you conquer weakness. If you want real change, real growth, and real strength, you must learn to reward yourself only after you conquer weakness. Not before, never in place of effort, but as a true celebration of your victory. This is one of the toughest lessons to learn because we live in a culture of instant gratification. We want rewards first. Comfort, pleasure, distraction, before the hard work even begins. We tell ourselves, "I deserve this," before we earn it. The problem with that mindset is it weakens discipline. It tricks the brain into thinking effort isn't necessary when in fact, effort is everything. Think about the last time you gave yourself a treat for no reason. Maybe binge watching shows instead of working on your goals. Or ordering fast food when you plan to cook healthy. How did that affect your confidence? Your motivation? Chances are you felt stuck or frustrated after. That's because rewarding yourself without progress is like filling a car's gas tank with air. It looks like something is happening, but you're not moving forward. The key is to flip this cycle. Make your rewards the prize you earn after you do the work. This changes everything about how your mind responds to discipline and growth. Suddenly, the hard work isn't a punishment. It's the gateway to something meaningful. It makes every victory sweeter because it's earned, not handed out. When you conquer a weakness, when you push past a habit that held you back, when you act despite fear, when you say no to distraction, that moment deserves celebration. That reward is not just a pat on the back. It's a powerful signal to your brain that effort leads to positive outcome. That signal builds motivation, resilience, and a hunger to keep conquering. Without this principle, you run the risk of rewarding excuses. You confuse comfort with success. You sabotage your own progress by diluting what it means to achieve. When rewards come before results, you train yourself to expect pleasure without pain, and that expectation kills long-term growth. But when you condition yourself to earn rewards after real achievement, you create a cycle of accountability and fulfillment. You teach yourself that joy comes after discipline, not before. You train your brain to work hard, because it knows good things come next. That's how habits form. That's how character builds. This doesn't mean you never enjoy life or relax. It means you assign your pleasures in a way that honors your growth. A simple example: instead of watching TV all night before finishing a project, you finish the project first and then enjoy your favorite show guilt-free. The satisfaction is deeper because it's a reward earned, not a distraction disguised. This approach also helps you avoid burnout. When you reward yourself properly, you create milestones. Each small win becomes a checkpoint that fuels the next step. Instead of grinding endlessly with no relief, you build in moments of celebration that recharge your mind and spirit. The rewards themselves don't have to be extravagant. They can be simple things: a walk in nature, a favorite snack, time with friends, a hobby, or even just recognizing your own progress silently. What matters is the timing and intention behind the reward. It must come after the conquest, not before. Let's be honest. Discipline is hard. It asks you to deny immediate pleasure for long-term gain, and that's uncomfortable. But without a clear system that links hard work to genuine rewards, discipline becomes dry, joyless, and easy to quit. By changing your reward system, you not only make discipline more bearable, but also create an emotional connection to your goals. You turn growth into something you want, not something you have to do. That emotional connection is the secret fuel behind lasting change. Another benefit is that rewarding after conquering a weakness creates a sense of pride that can't be faked. It's the feeling of knowing you did what you said you would do, that you faced your fears or weaknesses, and that you earned your peace. Pride like this builds confidence. It builds momentum. It builds identity. That identity matters more than any reward itself, because your sense of who you are guides your action. When you prove to yourself repeatedly that you can overcome, that you can delay gratification, that you can push through discomfort and still celebrate, you become someone who expects success. You become someone who refuses to settle for less. If you want to test this, start small. Pick one weakness you want to conquer. It could be resisting procrastination, cutting out junk food, waking up early, or controlling your temper. Decide on a meaningful reward that excites you, but that you will only give yourself after you succeed. Then hold yourself to it. No shortcut, no early treats. When you earn that reward, sit with the feeling. Notice how different it feels compared to unearned pleasure. Let it sink in. Use it as a reminder that discipline has its own reward, a reward that no instant gratification can replace. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to associate self-control with joy and fulfillment, rather than pain and sacrifice. It turns discipline from a dreaded task into a challenge you want to meet because you know the prize is real, deserved, and satisfying. Remember, life rewards those who earn their victories, not those who expect rewards without effort. This principle is a reality check that separates talkers from doers, dreamers from achievers. It's a strategy that works in every area of life: health, relationships, work, habits, and mindset. So today, decide that you will reward yourself only after you conquer a weakness. No exceptions, no excuses. Make your victories count by honoring them properly. This simple change will deepen your discipline, sharpen your focus, and multiply your results. Your future self will thank you, because the strength you build by delaying gratification is the foundation for every success you desire. It's how you turn weaknesses into stepping stones, and how you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. Start this now. Choose your weakness, define your reward, earn it, celebrate it, then set your sights on the next conquest. The cycle of growth is waiting. Are you ready to step into it and own it?